So guys, if you've just come from the sailing video, welcome. This is the detailed deep dive walkthrough. And if you haven't, well, you're welcome aboard the Beneteau 37.1 Oceanis. My name's Dan Jones.
My name's Andrew Parks.
Yeah.
And let's have a look at the boat.
Yeah, I think we should. So Andrew, you're the sailing expert, so I'm going to let you lead this one. I think start at the front.
All right, so this boat's optioned with the optional bowsprit. As we can see, we've got a takeoff point for the Code Zero as well as a Jenica, which is quite handy if you're going to do a little bit of racing. The integrated bowsprit is there. It's set a little bit further forward than the normal setup, which just keeps the anchor chain away from the bow of the boat, which is a nice thing. Moving slightly aft. Oh, we've got a deep anchor chain locker here with a windlass and a remote, and plenty of room for storage and fenders. Pretty well standard on a boat of this type. Our bow mooring cleats, decent handrails here from safety point of view.
This isn't bad for working up on the foredeck.
Yep, really good tow rail, and that runs the whole way down the boat, which is a great safety feature. Got an opening forward hatch in the owner's cabin with a vent, which is going to just keep the boat nice and cool. As we move aft, more opening hatches, great for ventilation, particularly here in Australia, or if you're in the warmer part of the world. This is the standard self-tacking jib track, and on this boat, they've gone for the optional adjustable Genoa tracks, which gives you a much bigger headsail and also much nicer for doing some casual or regatta racing. Standard mast here. This is the in-mast furling setup, which is very convenient. You do lose a little bit of performance, but at the end of the day, it's a really quick pack up, and you can be enjoying the day with your family.
Compared to the in-mast furling systems we've used in the past by Selden, what's the difference with this one? I can see it looks like the mechanism has got a worm drive instead of a winder.
It's slightly different with Z spars. On the Selden setup, they actually have the adjuster for the mandrel on the back of the mast, and it rotates and runs aft, and it's a continuous line. With the Z spar setup, we can actually see here there's a worm drive inside the rig.
Yeah.
And you can see this here, and that attaches to the base of the furling unit, and so that winds around. So it's a similar setup, it's just a different way of doing it. The advantage of this is you don't have a continuous line.
Right.
So you're not relying on a clutch holding that furling line. It's just a very direct setup.
And I guess when you're furling it in, same idea, keep a bit of pressure on the outhaul.
Yeah, you want to keep pressure on both the outhaul and the furling line when you furl or deploy, because otherwise the sail can backwind inside the mast and get too loose, and then it can jam. And that's really going to ruin your day.
Yeah.
So just a tiny little bit of discipline as you use it, you'll have no problems at all.
And no vertical battens in this one we saw today.
Not in this one. And looking at the gap in the back of the mast, it's pretty marginal. Yeah. With my sailmaker's hat on, vertical battens can be a real pain.
Right, because they can jam.
If you're really after more performance, buy a normal mainsail. You'll get a lot better performance and less headaches.
Yep.
But for pure cruising, this is fantastic.
Interesting.
Moving aft, we've got discontinued wire rigging, nice and safe. Good handhold here, which is nice. And these nice wide side decks make moving fore and aft safe and simple.
Yeah, that's not too difficult, is it?
No. Really good non-skid here on the deck, which is great. Keeps you safe as you move around.
But we don't need to put a life raft up here because we have life raft storage back aft.
That's correct. Yeah, there's a nice life raft stowage area aft, which we'll see when we get back there.
So I guess you could probably put a solar panel there if you didn't have the bimini.
Yes, you could. Yeah, that would work really well.
Yep. So this cockpit's bloody ginormous.
Yeah. I mean, as we said in the sailing part of the review, it's a big cockpit for a boat of this size.
That's a couple of meters, just that swim platform alone, but you've got your life raft storage just there. Yeah,
and that's good. Dan, open that up. So yeah, that's really good access to the life raft, and they've really thought it through, because this is a really neat little step here to help you get down and that actually comes up as the transom comes up. So it means that you've got a smaller step down, which is good if you're having mobility issues, or just makes it a bit safer on the boat.
Okay, so we can open it all the way up like so.
Yeah.
Well, let's start on the starboard helm and work our way around.
Okay, so yeah, this would be the main helm position for the boat because that's where we've got our throttle. So on this boat, they've upgraded to the composite wheels. The boat comes standard with stainless steel wheels with leather, which has a nice feel, but these are a little bit lighter and give you a slightly more direct feel. Our throttle is just here, right near the helm position. I found it was actually pretty good when we were manoeuvring the boat. And
any tendency to hit it with your leg by accident, or?
I didn't find it. We were sailing upwind in a fair bit of breeze, and it's nicely out of the way. One little thing, it was easy for the jib sheet to just get over the top of it when we were tacking. So it's just something to be mindful of. That said, when you're sailing, if you've got the optional geared folding prop, you'll be in reverse. So the chances of that catching are less of an issue.
Yep.
We've got a standard compass here. Obligatory drink holders. On this boat, they've got a bow thruster, so your bow thruster control is here. We've got a chart plotter here, and then the Yanmar display and switch panel is here. So all really easy to access. A nice handhold here, and then on the other helm, we've got a couple of instruments here from Ray Marine. So we've got our autopilot control here, and then we've also got a Ray Marine display. Everything else is pretty similar. Because we don't have the console like we do on the starboard side, we've just got a more traditional handhold here.
I like that they've put what appears to be a drain so you don't wet your bum.
Yes.
when you cop a wave over and you're sailing.
Exactly.
On leeward.
Because this boat's got the optional adjustable jib cars, and we don't have a self-tacking jib, the jib sheet and the car adjuster both come back to this winch. So that makes it really easy. It's quite a convenient position for whoever's helming. They can adjust the sails, and as we found on our sail today, it's very easy for the person at the helm to let the jib go in a tack.
Yep.
If you're cruising with maybe your wife or partner and they're not a sailor, you could use the autopilot, set the autopilot up to tack, cast off one jib sheet, walk over to the other side, trim the jib sheet on. Once you're settled, turn the autopilot back on a standby, and you're sailing again.
Yep.
So it's quite well laid out. I guess in terms of winches and other hardware, the standard setup is just one winch on the port side, and everything comes back to that. This boat's been set up with an optional upgrade to a powered winch, which is always a nice thing.
Let's have a look.
Makes handling the boat a lot simpler and a lot less hard work. And then they've also gone for an extra winch here, which is because the boat's set up with spinnaker halyard and everything. It's a nice setup. But if you just want a simple boat for cruising, the standard setup with one winch and the self-tacking jib works just fine.
And in that case, would you run the main sheet to this side instead of this side?
I understand that everything is on the port side in the standard setup.
Right.
Is that correct, Mika?
Yeah, that is correct. And you've got because you've got less lines and less need for the jammers, you've got enough to operate the self-taking headsail and the single main sheet.
Exactly. So I think everyone's got to remember this is a simple boat for cruising, but you can spec it up if you want to go and do a little bit more racing or something a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
This is an upgraded table, but it's really nice. There's a good insulation in here, some nice timber leaves, and plenty of room. Plenty of room. And if you look here, comfortably sit 3 to 4 people here. And then we've got a nice locker here on the starboard side.
But these, if you went for the 2-cabin version, one of these would be a ginormous locker.
Yes, yeah, it'd be a big locker, almost like a work area.
Yeah.
You could have some tools in there, maybe set up a bench.
Yeah.
So yeah, really nicely laid out. And then, the beauty of having nothing on this side, it gives you plenty of room in the aft cabin on the port side.
Yeah. So you should have more headroom. And there were some storage lazarettes.
Yes.
We saw tucked away under here, wasn't there?
Yeah, these are great. So I'll
Let's do this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that just folds back,
Pushes down.
and you've got really nice storage here. So, and you can see in here that you've got really good access to everything aft.
Yep. And
There's your autopilot.
our rudder stocks.
Yep.
And I guess we could put an emergency tiller on top of this, or is that right?
Yes, the boat comes with an emergency tiller as standard.
Yep.
And that'll just go into either of the rudder stocks.
Yep.
So yeah, all in all, very simple.
It always worries me a little bit, twin rudders, in case you hit a whale or something, because it's not directly behind the keel. Am I justified in being worried?
Well,
Because it's hanging out there, and where the keels would ordinarily protect a single rudder.
Yeah, I mean the keel does offer some protection.
Yeah.
The other way to look at it is, if that happened, you got another rudder.
You got another one.
So that's actually
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if you lose both rudders, you're just not having a good day.
You're not having a good day at all. So we've got the Dodger on this one. We've got the Bimini, and there's obviously a piece that joins in between the two here for full protection. I think that sort of covers everything up here, doesn't it? Why don't we go downstairs, and I'll take you guys along. Let's go and have a look. Come on down. So our options for the interior layout are many, because you can do the 2-cabin version, which would have the head on this side, and you don't have to just have the head compartment. You can extend that head compartment into a large separate shower as well, and then have a storage area accessible through that hatch that we opened before. But you could also have it even bigger storage area as well, and have a smaller head, or just this standard size head if you want. And then you've got one cabin here and that cabin up the front there. But in this particular layout, we've got the 3-cabin one head on this boat, but there's also the option to do 3-cabin 2 head, in which case the forward bed would be offset. So let's have a look at this. But we're not the tallest blokes in the world, so the headroom's fantastic for us.
That's why they get us, because we make every boat look huge.
Exactly. I mean, I'm 5'7". I've got that much space above my head, and this is a perfectly nice and comfortable cabin. You could definitely sit up in bed if you want, and you've got your nice fixed hull windows there and escape hatch, but that's also going to give you a good amount of ventilation. But as Andrew said before, we got a good amount of crossflow, because we've got these 2 side hatches here and here for crossflow ventilation, and then we've got great storage in both lockers either side. And what do we have, a water tank? Okay, so we've got our water tank up in the bow, and I've forgotten how much it was. It was like 300 litres?
330.
330 litres. So we are carrying a fair amount of water just there. And so let's have a look at the saloon. This is probably where this size boat stands out, because if you go down from this, you're not going to have, you're really going to sort of sacrifice on your social spaces. But if you go up from this, you're stepping into a size boat that might get a little bit too much to manage for some people. Would you say that's fair?
I think so. I mean, the size is right, and you've got enough volume in the hull and enough beam to really have a very open area here. The great galley setup.
Yeah.
And if you have friends on board, you can be in the galley preparing something to eat or drink and still be talking.
Mm.
And this is just a really nice layout.
And this is like no leaks or anything, because this is just going to be a compression post.
That's right.
And so we've got fixed windows, we've got an opening there, and then all the openings are up on deck. So plenty of light, but it's going to be a nice, dry, comfortable space down here. And then good amount of storage. Let's have a look and see what's underneath these seats here. We've got storage underneath all these. Oh, this one. Oh, yep. Okay, that's nice and easy.
Yeah, and this
to
is
access.
the life jackets for this boat live in there.
And same again here.
Yep.
That looks like the pressure for the water system. And this one feels like it, but I'm not going to force it. Good amount of storage.
Yeah, and there's a good locker here.
Yeah, nice. We can get into all the bilges. Some lockers along the galley. We've got the fridge. Looks like it's top and side loading. So that's a decent setup just there. The stove's gimbaled. And then we've got what appears to be rubbish just here and plenty of storage. I don't want to open everything because it's a privately owned boat, this one. And then we've got another aft facing this time. I like that they've been done pointing different directions.
Yes.
Because they're going to catch the breeze like we are today. You know,
Yeah,
this is
particularly if you're in a marina.
yeah.
You know, if you're at anchor, you're nearly always head to wind.
Yeah.
But if you're in a marina berth, you're not always facing the right way. So having that option is good.
Yeah, definitely. So let's have a look at the nav station. So it's an aft-facing nav station on this one. And then we've got deep storage in there, a little bit of hanging. Same again with a shelf. And then you got your control panel here. So we've got batteries are actually behind me, just in here. So have a look in here. There's your start batteries and your big fuses for things like the bow thruster and the windlass. And you've got your VHF here. This is your control system. That's your fusion. And this is your 12 volt just here. And they, as they do on a lot of these European boats, they keep it really simple with these figures because not everyone speaks English. So they make it nice and easy to understand. We do have these pull down blinds here and they just attach there and there. So that's going to knock out some of the sun. Let's have a look in the head. So this one doesn't have the separate shower. So this is, oh, we've just been sailing if it's not obvious. So that's fallen over there. So it's just an electric macerator toilet with a holding tank, wet area, a little bit of storage. And then if you did option the separate shower, it's this whole space here. This whole area would actually all be a separate shower. And then from this bulkhead aft, that's where the storage area starts. But if you come in close and have a look at this cabin, you'll see how the roof line is a little bit lower because that's that storage locker that was accessible up on deck. You still have some ventilation here. And is there any more? It's just the one in this cabin. We've got some strip lighting, nice big ledge for storing things. We have a little reading light. We've got engine access on the starboard side. We've got this huge big locker. That's massive just there. And you've got charging as well for your phones and bits and pieces. And some more lighting up here. Let's have a look at the engine access. So we've got the 40 horsepower. This Yanmar is a shaft drive. That's great, I think, from a long-term maintenance perspective. And we can see our intakes just there. But because of these hatches on starboard, and we got another one on port, you can get to everything that you need to. So that's pretty good. Noise-wise, she was a little bit noisy at some revs, but not too intrusive.
No, and look, there's pretty good sound insulation on the engine box, which, really helps.
But, I mean, Yanmar's I'm a fan of Yanmar, so if I've got an option, I'll happily take a Yanmar for a cruising boat. And this cabin is the bigger one. So you see how we've got more headroom just here, and then, roughly same, but we've got some ventilation in here and the same locker just there. So I think that sort of covers the interior. Let's come upstairs and wrap this video up here in the sunshine. This is the first cold day of 2025 in Sydney.
It is. Yeah,
As of about 12 hours ago.
It's 37 degrees yesterday, so winter is coming, as they say.
I landed and it felt like Thailand. So, what do you reckon about this boat, Andrew? It's who's the demographic that's really going to appreciate something like this?
Look, I think this is a boat that a family could have as their first yacht.
Yeah.
It's got plenty of space and it's relatively simply laid out.
Yep.
It's got everything you need, but if you want to option it up for some other sailing or maybe some fun racing, you can do that. And what I really liked was how well the boat sailed with the twin rudders.
Yep.
So for someone new to sailing who is building their confidence, having that little bit more security with the twin rudders just makes them a little bit less anxious on the puffy days like we had today.
Yep.
And the downside is a little bit of a loss of manoeuvrability with the twin rudders, but that's something that you can build with time. At a bow thruster, they're not as expensive as they used to be.
Yeah.
And that would just take any of that anxiety away because the hardest part of the day normally is leaving the marina and coming back.
Yeah.
And that's where most days go well or badly.
Yep.
So, option up, speak to your salesman.
Yep.
They're experienced. They'll give you good sound advice on
Yep.
how to option the boat to suit your needs, because no two boats are going to be the same.
100%. And what I like about this, it's really the brand. I travel all around the world and I see so many different boats and in so many different regions of the world. But the Beneteau group and the Beneteau brand, if you are new to sailing and you're taking like a risk because you've always had powerboats before and you're giving sailing a try, this is a boat that you could trade out of relatively easily.
Yeah,
so
100%.
You call it a safe investment.
100%. I mean, you know, you could. As you said, there are numerous brands around the world, but you can go anywhere and mention the name Beneteau, and it's known.
People are going to know about
It's
it.
known.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you are dipping your toe into yacht ownership for the first time,
Yep.
if you stick with a well-known brand, you know, you'll be able to move the boat on.
Yeah.
If you decide that sailing's not for you, or or you want to upgrade to a bigger sailing yacht, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, I hope that was useful to you. We're going to pop another yacht up on the screen pretty soon for you to do your comparisons. If you've got any questions and you're comparing this Beneteau against another boat, or you're trying to choose what options you want for a Beneteau, ask Andrew. He's on Connect. Link is down below in the description. And yeah, you're a professional sailor. You've done America's Cup campaigns,
Yeah.
sent it to Hobarts. What else?
Look, I've been
Everything.
fortunate. Yeah, I've sailed all around the world. I've represented Australia and quite a few other countries in sailing. So I've been blessed. You know, I've sailed in some of the nicest venues in the world, and
Yeah.
that's it. I've been really, really lucky.
And you're also a sailmaker.
That's right. That's how I started my journey into the professional sailing life. And so not only am I a reasonably good sailor, I know about sails.
Yeah.
So, you know, if any of you have any questions, just feel free to reach out and make contact with us.
Awesome. See you in the next video. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. See you.